Welcome to Let's Get Loud with Ingrid, where we give a voice to the pains that are suffered in silence. If this is your first time joining us, we want to welcome you and thank you for choosing to get loud with me. For the faithful who tune in week after week, thank you for your continued support with your comments, likes, and shares. Our new 4-part series is on Follow Your Dreams. As children, we dream of what we want to be when we grow up, but somewhere along our path, we are influenced by others such as our parents and our teachers to pursue what they think is best for us. In this series, you will hear the story of teacher and author Jessica Clarke, whose path was diverted in many directions from what she knew she wanted to be at age 7. Journey with Jessica as she takes you through her elementary, high school, and college years and is now working in pursuit of following her dream. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us on Let's Get Loud this evening to share your story about following your dreams. Jessica, tell me, at age 7, if I said, what would you like to become, Jessica? What would Jessica tell me?
Well, at age 7, Jessica would have said she wanted to be a teacher.
No kidding.
You would have found Jessica under the ackee tree, beating all the grass and all the trees because they were the students and I was teaching. So at age 7, there was no doubt in my mind I wanted to be a teacher. Full stop.
Full stop. And do you know why you wanted to pursue teaching? Was that something that you felt on the inside was a calling for you to do?
I think so, because I've never really thought of another career apart from teaching. I've always seen myself as having so much knowledge that I needed to share it with others. Makes no sense I kept it to myself. So
even at age 7, you thought you had a lot of knowledge.
I wanted to be a teacher, and I would have the neighbor children. Of course, at age 7, I was brilliant. So I used to have the neighbors' children come over and I would teach whatever I learned at school. From age 7 upwards, I would teach under the ackee tree. Whatever I learned, I would teach them the same thing every day.
That was an excellent way of imparting knowledge and also retaining knowledge, because then you practice what you were taught. So journey with me, Jessica. Did you communicate like to your mom or to your dad that you wanted to pursue a career in teaching?
I did initially at first communicated it to my mom, but then she had, according to her, big dreams for me. She wanted me to become a doctor, and I don't know how she thought I could have been a doctor, because I hated everything that has to do with medicine. I hated taking medicine. I hated blood. I hated people who were sick. I didn't like it any at all. But she insisted that I was a little doctor and I was supposed to become a doctor. Full stop. There was no doubt about it. I was going to be a doctor. In her head, I was going to be a doctor.
So tell me, when you went to high school, did you still have that passion to be a teacher, or did anything happen to sway you towards becoming a doctor as your mom wanted you to become?
That never left. I've always wanted to be the teacher, but on the outside, I showed my mother what she wanted to see. So she wanted me to become a doctor. So I pretended to be okay with it. You know, at that age, you want to please your parents. So at that age, I pretended that everything was okay. I wanted to be a doctor. That's it. So when I started high school, and you know, when you start high school and you have those introductions with every teacher, and then you were supposed to tell them your name and what you hope to become in the future. So my introduction was, my name is Jessica Bent, and I would like to be a teacher, but my mother says I should be a doctor. That was my introduction to every teacher.
And what did any of the teachers have anything to say to that?
Yes.
Can you share?
They would laugh. They would laugh at first and ask, so which one will you decide to become? And I was like, I am not sure as yet. I'm still weighing which one I will lean towards. But in the end, they would say, follow your dreams. It's what you love to do. But that again, I didn't listen. So it was still here for me, neither here nor there for me.
When you said you pretended, can you just describe that pretense? What did that feel like, Jessica?
It was like putting on a whole new persona. It was like carrying a weight around on my shoulders. I would have to act like I actually liked the whole medicine era when it was not interesting to me. It was not exciting to me. It did not appeal to me in any form, but I had to take science seriously. I hated science. It was my least favorite subject in school, and I had to pretend that I liked science. I would be doing my science homework every evening. I'd be reading science books when I had no interest in them because I wanted to please my mom so much. I wanted her to be so proud of me. You know, Dr. Bent, it was back then. It was Dr. Bent, so I wanted my mom to feel so proud that I actually came out to be the doctor that she wanted me to be.
Wow. Jessica, let's just get real here. When you said that you pretended and you carried around this weight of falsehood, when you had a real moment to yourself, how did you really examine yourself? What questions did you ask yourself?
When I sat in my little corner by myself, I would say, are you really going to be happy if you become a doctor? And then I would be communicating with myself, so I'll be answering, and I was saying, no, I am not going to be happy at all. And then that voice within me would say, well, you need to do what makes you happy. You need to be brave and let your mom know that you don't want to be a doctor. You want to be a teacher. It is what excites you in the mornings to get up, you know? And I heard all of those things in my head, and for some reason, I still did not listen. I still did not heed to the voice that I heard. I was still there contemplating on what I should do, how I should go about letting my mother know that I wanted to become a teacher and not a doctor. because in my head I was going to be disappointing her because she had such high hopes, and in her head a teacher was not, it was not very big back then. You have to be a doctor or a lawyer. So I was scared of disappointing her.
What was it about the disappointment or even the fear itself? What was it? Why do you think, if you were honest about your feelings and your calling, why do you think she wouldn't be proud of you? What made you think that?
Back then, it was the whole thing of doing whatever your parent wanted you to do. My mom was not exactly the person that you could sit and talk to. So I was a bit scared of approaching her and saying to her, Mom, I don't want to be a doctor. It was like I was tearing her dreams apart because in me, I think she was the one who wanted to be the doctor.
Right.
And she didn't get to live out that dream. She wanted it to be, personified in me. And I was so scared at that point because she wasn't exactly, hey mom, I don't want to be a doctor. Okay, darling. It wasn't like that. She was quite the opposite. So I was really scared.
Right. I understand that. I understand that. Because we find that even now, today, that a lot of parents are still like that. You touched on something that I think is very important. And I personally have seen that in my life where parents want to live their dream through their children. They wanted to be a pilot, so they want their kids to be a pilot. They wanted to be a doctor, so they want their kids to be a doctor. Or the neighbors' kids were doctors growing up, and they thought, oh, they came out better than I did, So I want the same. I don't want that for me. I want better for my daughter. So best if I steer her in the doctor direction. And we find ourselves empty because we pursue something. Maybe we're good at it, and we find out in a little bit how good you were at the sciences. But for now, what I want to do is just ask you the question: if you could go back then and just speak to you as that child who wanted to be the teacher and to not confront, but to have a conversation with your mother, what would you tell that child now?
Well, no, looking back, I would have told that child that, come on, you need to be brave. You need to realize that this is going to be your life forever. This is something that will impact you negatively or positively based on the decision that you make, not your mom. This is something that you will have to live with for the rest of your life. If you don't see the purpose in putting your foot down and making that mark, then it's not worth it. If it's something that you truly love, then you should go for it. Don't let anyone stop you. It's your passion.
Yes.
Go for do whatever you intend to do. Don't just sit down and be somebody that you don't like, somebody that you don't want to be at all.
A shadow of yourself, eh? Would you say that?
Yeah.
So Jessica,
Yes.
as we wrap up on this session, we just want to implore the parents out there, mothers, fathers, who have great dreams, high dreams for their children, to just have a conversation with those kids, find out what they really want to pursue, and support them in pursuing their dreams. We just want to say, allow them to follow their dreams. So when we return, we will journey with Jessica through her high school years. Until then, thank you for listening and have a great evening.